Hello, my name's Skylar, and this is my High Quality Connections mini experiment that I chose to do with my dog Maggie. Here's a little bit about Maggie. I actually saved her when she was a puppy after she was thrown from a moving car, and thankfully she was okay after that, and we've had her for about 3 years now. She's absolutely terrified of riding in the car, which is very understandable. She's also overly hyper and excited, to say the least, and that can cause some communication problems when she can't calm herself down. Her favorite things to do are eating treats and playing outside. And this is Maggie over the 3 years that I've had her. This is actually the first day after I found her. My experiment is to empathize with Maggie and try to understand why she behaves the way that she does sometimes. I would like to let her go places and try to get rid of some of that energy that she has, which would help a lot of issues at home. I also want to push and motivate her without forcing her out of her comfort zone. And here's the desired outcomes. I want Maggie to see that the world is so much bigger than just our house. I'd love to take her on vacations to the lake and on walks around town. I also want to be able to try and tire her out as much as possible during the day so that she can become more calm at home. I chose this experiment because I want Maggie to see the world and live the best life possible because she has a lot of potential. I'll be working with my family at home and Maggie with this experiment. And here's the action steps. I plan to take her on small walks around my neighborhood so she can see the cars without being too close to them, and try to get her in the car once a day. And here's my measures of success that I hope to see. I hope to see Maggie being less scared to get into the car, or at least around the car, and noticing that Maggie is less hyper at home and more calm. The way I approach this experiment is by empathizing with Maggie whenever I can. I understand why she's afraid of the cars, and keeping her comfortable is very important. I started letting her just sit in the car without cranking it to try and get her more used to it. I've started playing with her more as well and taking her on walks more often. No matter what, I try to get her into the car or as close as possible at least once a day. Here's the specific behaviors that I've noticed with Maggie. I've noticed that the noise from the car and other cars on the road are what scares her the most. We recently had to take her to the vet, and while the car was moving, I noticed she would lay with her back to us. And when we stopped, it would get quiet and she would actually stand up and look around a bit. I've also noticed that once we get to where we're going and she is able to get out and walk around, she has a blast. My grandmother had an idea of just taking her to the lake and hoping for the best that she would enjoy it. And she got out of the car and owned the place and saw the water, and that was really good to see. With my measures of success, I think they've worked great so far. The past few times I've tried to get her to climb into the car by herself, she actually walks all the way to the car and puts her paws on the seat to try and jump in, which was really surprising to see. I can also tell that at the end of the day, she's becoming more calm. Taking her on walks to the lake and playing with her more have really helped her to calm down at home. Here's some of the things I learned with high quality connections. The main thing is respectful engagement, because I think it ties into treating people how we would like to be treated. It's very important to pay attention and show the appreciation and respect that people deserve. I also applied this to my experiment with Maggie by trusting that she can do the commands that we want her to do without doubting her, and taking notice in her body language. And I also reward her for good behavior with a treat. And here's a dog about to get some treats. The next big thing I learned with high quality connections is empathy, and that's very important with HQC as well. It's very important to know that everyone is going through something, and some more than others. I find it important to always take the time to empathize with people who are going through challenges. I applied empathy in my experiment a lot as well. It is very understandable for Maggie to be scared of the cars given her experience with them. She's still young, and I know that this is a difficult challenge for her to overcome as well. I try to take notice in how she feels more often in her body language and the cues that she gives me. During this experiment, I have felt very hopeful. It's been nice to see Maggie stepping out and doing the things we'd like her to do. I have also felt frustrated as well. One day, Maggie absolutely refused to try and get into the car or even go outside to get in it. And I had to remember to empathize with her and know that this is a hard thing for her to do as well. In the future, I plan to keep high quality connections in mind by giving my full attention when someone's telling me something about their day or their accomplishments. I hope to learn how to have a truly healthy relationships with people around me and show interest in what others are going through daily. I also applied this with my feedback that I got last week, and it was nice for them to empathize with me and show me that I'm not the only one going through challenges. And here's a happy dog. Thank you.